Now, talking of Christmas rolling on, the Princess of Wales hosted her annual carol service at Westminster Abbey last night. We won't see it on the telly till Christmas Eve, I think. But it's all part of her gradual return to royal duties following, of course, her cancer treatment.
Well, this year's Together at Christmas event aimed to celebrate love and empathy, and guests included the families affected by the Southport knife attack, amongst others.
Yeah, and there were lots of others there, not just celebrities because they were celebrities, people who have lost and loved people who have been fighting cancer, stuff like that. There were some amazing people there, all with amazing stories to tell, actually. Let's now be joined by royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams. A very good morning to you, Richard. Wasn't it lovely to see the family, the Wales family, out together last night?
Well, it was truly inspiring. I think very few public figures, speaking for myself anyway, throughout the world who deserve a great deal of I feel a great deal of admiration for. But William and Catherine are, I think, very well unique, the way they've handled the traumas of the last year. And looking at the images in today's papers, I mean, these are images of beauty, and they're so inspiring. And what Catherine has done, and this is the fourth year, of course, that she's arranged this concert, she's organised it. We knew she'd be attending because there were reports of quite an early meeting in a year where she's had to balance things with such care. And it was beautiful to see them all. It's also so inspiring the way they've managed the guest list, not only in Westminster Abbey, but of course there are 15 other concerts throughout the land. And it's such a very, very special time of year. Hope, kindness, and above all in her message, which she sent to all the guests, love, which she's had a great deal during a year that, as William has described it, as brutal.
Yeah, well, it's been a dreadful year for the royal family, hasn't it? I don't know, as we're watching pictures on the TV, Richard, of Catherine meeting a lot of the celebrities involved in this, it is nice that actually it's not really about them. They're there to add a bit of glitz and glamour, but actually it's about everybody else who's invited to attend, isn't it?
Absolutely, and this is what Catherine has done this year in the video messages in March, where she talked of the cancer diagnosis. And remember, this had followed her abdominal operation, and then subsequently, happily, in September, where we saw another video message talking about the successful chemotherapy and the fact she was cancer-free. But it is unquestionably about those who've suffered and also those who've suffered with them, because this pernicious disease, it affects, of course, millions, not only in Britain, but of course the royal family have got this unique reach, and worldwide many millions of Christmas Eve will see this beautiful concert.
No, absolutely. Richard, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. It will be a lovely thing to see, as it always is.
As it always is. It was nice to see the whole family there last night, including Prince Louis. He's obviously now trusted to go out and behave himself.
Yes.
And he's 4 years older than he was when Princess Catherine first started the carol concert. And it's very much her thing. And it's lovely to see her. She looked absolutely radiant as well. She looked really well.
She always does. She's a remarkable lady. And all in matching red.
Yeah. No,
so there you go. Right.
Well, joining us now, GB News' royal correspondent Cameron Walker. How was it, Cameron? Because you were actually there, weren't you?
I was, Anne. It was the most magical experience. And I think what was so magical about it is this unifying power that the princess had. 1,600 people from right across the country. As you say, a number of them had had particularly difficult years or were supporting others who had had a difficult year. The Southport survivors, for example. There was a number of guests who had been diagnosed with cancer themselves, or indeed were helping those come to terms with cancer. We had Lindsay Burrow, who is the widow of the late Rob Burrow, the rugby star who died of motor neurone disease earlier this year. She lit a candle during the service. We also had the Olympian Sir Chris Hoy, who's got terminal prostate cancer. He also lit a candle as well. And each guest, when we arrived at our seats, I was sat in Poets' Corner, which was about 30 rows directly behind the Princess of Wales. A letter had been sent from the Princess and put on each of our chairs. And in it, she says, we need to shine a light for each other. And she said that Christmas is one of her favourite times of year. And I think it just shone through the entire Abbey during that time. So it was really, really magical. And you can just see pictures on your screen now of these little red labels on a tree with Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis and Prince William. This is the kindness tree that the Princess set up. And it was for each guest to put a label on, talking about who has been kind to them this year or has shown them kindness. And Prince Louis, he said that it was his granny and grandpa, because they played games with him this year. We think he's referring to the Middletons there, Mike and Carol, the princess's mum and dad, rather than the king and queen. But yeah, really, truly lovely moment.
Yeah, there's something quite special, isn't there? I mean, particularly after the awful year that they've had. But she just brings this magic to any event, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think she certainly does. And I think being able to bring celebrity performers but also ordinary people together in one room where everyone's kind of equal in a sense, because everyone's got their own little part to play within this service. And there was particularly lovely moments that the Princess of Wales revealed about tasking Prince Louis to keep a very important secret for Princess Charlotte, because Princess Charlotte is a big fan of the ballet. And the Royal Ballet School children were performing inside the Abbey. And I could see Princess Charlotte's face, and I have never seen her looking so excited. It was so lovely to see. But of course, it was quite poignant, as you say, because the Princess, of course, has been diagnosed with cancer. She's completed preventative chemotherapy, but even she revealed, speaking to Paloma Faith just before the service began, that she did not expect the year she had. So I think she's very much hoping for a better, slightly less chaotic 2025.
Of course, Louis always goes down very well with the public because he's sort of well known for playing up a bit. But he didn't last night, and it just shows that... she's the Princess of Wales has now included him into various public events. He can be trusted now.
Yeah, I think so. He was very well behaved. He even was trusted with a lit candle, as all of us were. I was slightly concerned that there'd be a moment where someone's candle would drop onto the floor or something, because it was, all naked flames. But even 6-year-old Prince Louis was given one, and he held it very carefully alongside the princess and his two siblings as well. And I think Prince Louis, he's 6 years old. I think everybody obviously remembers him at the Platinum Jubilee, where he had a little bit of a tantrum during the pageant on the Sunday back in June 2022. But I think, he was a young kid, he's a young boy, and I think, he's occasionally going to do things like that. But he was very well behaved, as was Prince George and Princess Charlotte too.
Well, it's nice to see. Cameron, thanks very much indeed. The lit candles, I did notice that.
Yeah.
That worried me.
Yeah.
Only because I remember Christingle. Do you do Christingle at church and Advent?
Oh,
it's Christingle. It's Christingle tomorrow, I think, for a lot of churches. Oh. But I did actually singe the back of one lady's fake fur coat when I remember it. She didn't know.
Yeah, it's such a lot of these things. You have an artificial candle, don't you?
So if you live in the Dalton-in-Furness area, and in about 1982 you got home from Christingle and found your fake fur coat had all melted at the back.
Now you know who did it to you.
That was me.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Okay, let's move on from that. Turn another page. In fact, open another window in our Advent calendar. Today
you could do this professionally.
Oh, I've thought of it, but nah, it's too much like hard work. Right,